Hey guys, what's going on? It's Jay from Sony Alpha Lab. And what I got here today is the 24-70 E-mount lens. And what's so nice about this lens is Zeiss makes it, and it has optical steady shot built in. It's also f4, and it's a constant f4 throughout the focal range. So that's 70 millimeter, and that's 24 millimeter. So I'm using the A7R, and I'm going to do some testing here in this creepy pool area, and I'll test all the focal length, all the different focal lengths out, and I'll also record some video so you can see, how smooth the video is as far as panning and things like that. So stay tuned. Hey guys, what's going on? It's Jay from Sony Alpha Lab, and what I got here is the Sony 24-70 millimeter f4 OSS Zeiss lens. This is for the full frame Sony A7R. That's what it's designed for. The E-mount goes for about $1,200. Pretty expensive, in my opinion. Comes with a bag here. Note the bag. And here's the lens hood, lens cap. Here's the rear lens cap. Let's give you a closer look at this. Here's the back. Here's the side. It's 24 millimeter, 70. Now, it's not as smooth as I would like. You can feel a little friction here. I mean, it's smooth overall. Don't get me wrong, but it's not as silky as I would like, and that's worth noting in my opinion, especially when comparing it to the lens I'm filming with, which is the crop factor version of this lens, pretty much the 16-70 millimeter. So let me show you what it looks like on the A7R real quick. So here she is on the A7R. You can see it's pretty sharp. And you throw the lens cap on here, or the lens hood rather. The last little click is pretty tight, but once you do it a few times, it loosens up. And that's what it looks like with the lens hood on there rather. Alright, so build quality wise, the lens is pretty good. The tolerances are nice. I mean, engineering, it looks really good. Lens hood and lens cap fit nice, but the optics aren't the strongest. Wide open at f4. The lens is a little bit soft, and in the corners it's noticeable. You can see it in the lab scenes, and I'll show you in Lightroom what I'm talking about. So for $1,200, that's kind of disappointing, especially when it has a Zeiss badge on it. It really shouldn't. It should perform a little better in my opinion. So that's the bottom line. I mean, there's not merely many more options for a zoom lens. I mean, you got the kit lens, that's 28-70. It's not bad, but it's noticeably softer than this lens. This lens, when you stop it down to f5.6, f8, it's pretty darn sharp. And so in the real world, it works well. I mean, overall, it works pretty darn good in the real world for a zoom. But when you're used to the prime lenses and that they're just razor blade sharp, so when you compare it to that, this thing is noticeably I don't know, it's like not Zeiss quality. It's really the only way I know how to word it. It's not really Zeiss quality, I guess, is the best way. So if it was like a G lens and it was like $1,000, I think that would be more fair for what you get with this. That being said, it's very small it's relatively lightweight. It only weighs about 15 ounces, which is almost a pound. So that's not bad. And, you know, my one complaint was I wish it had a little more range. It's 24 to 70. And I wish it was like 24 to 105, because I have a 24 to 105 lens here that I love. I always talk about it. And you can see the size difference. Let me just take this off. Put this over here. So this is the Canon 24 to 105 full frame lens. So you can see how much bigger this lens is than this lens. So that's what you get. This is only goes to 70, but look at how much smaller it is. If you want a bigger lens, you know, that it's going to have to be bigger. And plus the 18 millimeter register distance makes the engineering a lot harder, apparently, because at 24 millimeter, this lens doesn't really do that good of a job in the corners. And this lens is razor sharp, pretty much in the corners, wide open all the way. So you'd almost be better off if you can deal with the extra weight, the size, and the slower autofocus to get a Metabones adapter, the electronic one, and buy this lens if you really want the best optical quality and full frame coverage, you know, and versatility, because this is 105 to 24 to 105 millimeter. But again, the autofocus isn't going to be near as fast, you know, but you know, it's all depends on what you want and need. So for a native lens, this is a great option. I mean, versatility wise, you got 24 to 70. It's nice. And like I said, overall, in the real world, the image quality is good. It's really good. You'll see it's sharp, and but again, $1,200 and the Zeiss badge, I don't know about that. It's one of the first times I've ever had to really, I'm really just disappointed with this Zeiss badge. It shouldn't be there. And I have to give the lens, you know, less of a review than I ever have, especially for a Zeiss. Like I rated this on Sony Alpha Lab on the full detailed written review. I rated it at a 3.5, and I think that's a fair rating for this lens, considering the price and the optical quality. When there's a Zeiss badge on there, it really should be at minimum a 4 or 4.5 star in my mind, as far as optical quality to cost and all that. But at the very least, when it's $1,200, you should expect the optics to be amazing, you know, and they're just not. They're good, they're very good, but they're not amazing like a Zeiss normally is, especially for that money. So that's pretty much it. So I'm going to move on to the lab here and show you some sample photos. And I also highly encourage you to check out the written review, which has a lot more detailed photos, tons and tons of sample photos, and then you can click on them and view every different aperture and get a really, you know, detailed inspection of, you know, where this lens has its flaws. 70 millimeter is noticeably a little bit soft. 24 millimeter is a little bit soft. 35 to 60 actually pretty much is pretty sharp all around. Even at f4 it's not that bad, but again, 24 and 70 are noticeably a little bit soft in the corners, especially when shooting wide open at f4. So that's pretty much it. So let's move on to Lightroom. Alrighty, so here we are in Lightroom 5, and this is the 24 to 70 millimeter f4 Zeiss lens, and this is one of the sample shots I took in that creepy pool area. And this particular shot's at 24 millimeter f4, and you can see it looks pretty good, you know, real world. Like I was saying, you know, real world, the camera or the lens does a pretty good job. And you can see in the center here, it's pretty sharp. And then I zoomed in a little bit. This is at 34 millimeter. And zoomed in a little more. This is 50 millimeter, 51 millimeter, and then this is 70. And you can see 70 gets a little bit soft. I mean, it's not too bad, but it's just not as sharp as it should be, in my opinion. Moving on. Here's another angle of the pool. Let me just make this a little bit bigger. And here's the carpet. You can see the carpet here on the railing. Go back to this shot. Right here is the carpet. And the focus point was the down here. I'll zoom in on these buoys. That's where I focused. And here's another view of the carpet. Another angle. Okay, buddy. I'm recording a video. Can you just give me a minute? Thank you, babe. So here's looking down at the carpet. It's pretty cool. It just rolls down. And this is a close-up of the actual railing. And the minimum focus distance is pretty close, so you can actually get right up on stuff. And here's old light in the pool. Here's some texture, some cracking paint. And here's looking up on the ladder there. And this is 24 millimeter. And then from the same spot, just zoomed in, that's 70 millimeter. And here's a few water shots. You can see I'll zoom in here and show you. This is 1/30th of a second. I was using a tripod, and you can see it's nice and sharp. I was trying to get a little bit of water flow. So 1/30th of a second did a good job capturing just a little bit of motion. There's another angle, slightly different. Went down to the Basher Kill and took a few shots. This one's actually edited. This is a raw or a TIFF file. And here's a shot of this old rusty post. And this was at f5.6, 70 millimeter. I'll zoom in here. See, it's not really that good. It's alright, but not as good as you would expect. And here's a quick HDR. Nothing really special there at all. Here's a shot at f8, and here's the same shot at f4. So I just want to zoom in here and show you. Here's f4. This one came out nice and sharp. It's pretty good. And here's f8. And you can see that's pretty good too. It's nice and sharp. And then we have lab photos here. I'm actually just going to go to the website review because I have it organized so nice. So you can see the lab photos much easier. If you go here, you can just scroll down and this will show you what it looks like, the distortion. Just click on it and you can see the actual lens distortion here. And then if you scroll down, you can see this one here has lens correction. So now all the horizontals and verticals are straightened out. It looks much, much better. And if you want to look at the corners, you can see how soft the corners are. At 24 millimeter, you could see this is pretty bad. And that's just what you get. So if we scroll down here, we have more 24 millimeter shots. You can check out at all different apertures, and 35 millimeter and so on. So I encourage you to check this out, SonyAlphaLab.com, for all these. And there's more analysis on the lens itself as well. So let me just scroll back up here. There's some more sample photos too. I just wanted to show you in Lightroom. Alright, so a few more real world shots. I just wanted to show you the snapshot of the barn, and I'll zoom in here and you can see just how sharp it is. This is at f8 and it's 26 millimeter, and you can see it's very, very sharp. Very happy with the results on this particular shot. And then this shot here is also taken at f8, 24 millimeter, and here's 100% crop of the rock, and that's full size there, so you can see how sharp that is. And this is the original shot. So let me show you what the corner looks like, the very corner. You can see how there's some smearing and whatnot. That's at f8. But if you look at the center here, here's 100% crop of the center. You can see it's really sharp. There's almost no chromatic aberration or anything, and distortion is well controlled as well. It's pretty good in the center. It looks good. Here's another shot, 34 millimeter. And you can see in the corner here where I have this 100% crop, you can see it's fairly sharp in the corner at 34 millimeter. Not bad. And here's one of Layla. He's playing around. A couple snapshots. He's holding up her little charm there. Here's one I kind of edited a little bit. It's still a raw file, but I just played around with it. I'll zoom in and show you 100%. And this is pretty much what you get. And you can see how sharp the eyelashes are. This is handheld, and she was holding very still for me, so I was fortunate. It's pretty sharp. It's normally a pretty hard shot to get, though, with a kid, just because they're always moving and stuff. So, alright, so lastly, I just wanted to show you what F4 looks like in the lab here. And you can see it's pretty sharp. I'm going to zoom in, show you 100%. And you can see the details on the crayons. This is at 70 millimeter. It's not too bad. Show you the resistors and stuff. And then down here in the corner, you could see it softens up a little bit. And then the separation of the color chart, you can see, is really, really nice. And that's what you get with a full frame sensor. You get really good separation. And I have just 100% crops here. Get a quick idea what that looks like. And lastly, we had some killer paninis the other day, and I took a quick picture of one. Came out pretty good, I thought.
Daddy, draw something for me.
Whoa, there she goes.
Daddy,
Oh, you okay? You alright?
you gotta draw something.
Come on, climb up. Climb up. There's my girl. Chubbs, do you see where Layla is, buddy? Chubbs, do you see where Layla is? Where is she? Good boy, Chubbs. What's up, handsome? Oh, who's that?
Thank you.
Layla, you found me.
You tell me to hide.
Come
Tell me to hide.
All right, your turn to hide. Alright, so that's pretty much it. So I'll catch up with you guys on Sony Alpha Lab, and I greatly appreciate the support. If you feel like you got something out of this review, please feel free to use the affiliate links and or check out the donate button. That would be greatly appreciated. So I'll catch up with you. Have a good day, and feel free to ask questions as always.